Next, we have Intro 730, which strengthens our efforts to ensure fairness and safety in our public schools. Lead sponsor, Councilmember Vanessa Gibson, and co-sponsor, Councilmember Corey Johnson. Thank you for their leadership. I look at this legislation very personally when I was a public school parent, which only ended in June, I'd like to say. I always wanted to know, and Shirley always wanted to know, that Dante and Kiara were safe and that they were learning in a positive and supportive environment. And parents in every part of the city seek that, and it's our obligation to give them that peace of mind and give all our children that opportunity. And we know that our students with disciplinary issues often lack the skills, not the will, they often lack the skills to behave, meaning they have not been shown the right way to handle some of the challenges, the right way to handle the challenging environment they're in. And we want to help instill those skills, those values in our children. And we believe in adopting policies to get to the root causes of disciplinary problems. We're working to lift up our children, lift up our schools, not to hold them down through overly harsh punishments that cause harm unto themselves. Thankfully, there's been some real progress in recent years. Overall crime in schools has decreased 29% since the 2011-2012 school year, compared to the school year that ended this last June. And disciplinary action, too, we've seen real progress. Suspensions down by 36%, arrests by school safety division down 68%. So there is some real progress overall, but there's some profound challenges still, including the real troubling disparities in the treatment of our students depending on race and their special needs status. We've assembled an expert group, the leadership team on school climate and discipline, provided tremendous assistance to us in thinking about the kinds of reforms and changes we need to make. I want to thank the members of the leadership team who are with us here today for the great work you're doing, and for being so committed to our students. They've recommended a number of ways to further improve our school climate, and Intro 730 is one of the team's recommendations specifically. The bill requires new reporting and greater transparency related to disciplinary measures. We'll be able to better monitor where suspensions, arrests, and summonses are concentrated so that we can target resources where they're most needed to get, again, to the root causes. And we look forward to finding and eliminating inconsistencies and disparities in the punishment of students, ensuring that our school disciplinary practices are both equitable and effective. This work will go hand in hand with a new focus on teaching social, emotional, and behavioral skills. We'll be announcing some additional steps in this direction in the very near future. Our school communities are so profoundly important to us and obviously to the future of the city. My children need to feel safe and supported in each and every neighborhood, in each and every zip code of this city. I want to thank so many people who contributed to getting us to this point with this legislation, including Speaker Melissa Margarito, our school's Chancellor Connie Farina, our NYPD Commissioner Bill Bratton, the Chair of the City Council Education Committee, Danny Drum, and now again my honor to introduce the lead sponsor, who also happens to be the Chair of the Committee on Public Safety, Councilmember Vanessa Gibson.
Thank you. Good afternoon, everyone, and thank you so much, Mr. Mayor, for your incredible commitment and leadership. I can't believe that this day has finally arrived. This has been a long journey, and I have learned so much. And as the lead sponsor of Intro 730, which will soon take effect and become the law in our city, I am just so honored and so grateful that so many partners and advocates and colleagues have come forth in recognizing the inequity that we face in our public school systems. So thank you just so much. As the chair of the Committee on Public Safety, I truly know that the safety of our students is equally as important as the climate in which each of our children learn. Suspensions and zero-tolerance policies have adversely impacted many vulnerable students, overly burdened African American, Latino, students of color, and students with disabilities, and did not lead to positive behavioral changes nor academic success. Today, as these critical amendments to the Student Safety Act will soon become law, we are truly taking an incredibly important step towards the realization of a system in our city that treats every student with dignity and respect, regardless of background, ethnicity, or race. Through biannual and quarterly reporting, the original Student Safety Act passed by the City Council in 2011 helped us identify troubling trends in our schools and really paved the way for recent disciplinary code reform. Today, through the newly amended Student Safety Act, we will address those practices that did not cultivate an environment of learning and did not put our students on a path of success. In particular, I'm truly proud that the revised act will report on the presence and the use of permanent, rotating metal detectors in all of our schools and metal detectors that were left in place after a request has been made to remove them. The use of restraints on our students, sometimes as young as 5 years old. Referrals that are made to emergency medical services for behavior and disciplinary related matters, complaints that are made against school safety agents, as well as the number of times a student is suspended within a single academic year. It has been particularly rewarding to have had the support of this mayor, Bill de Blasio, and our speaker, Melissa Mark-Viverito, on this important legislation, and I thank both of them and their teams in spearheading creative, innovative solutions and policies that usher in a new era of school discipline based on equity, fairness, and respect for all students. I thank my partner in this process, Councilmember Corey Johnson, who has been with me every step of the way, my colleague who chairs the Committee on Education, Danny Drum, who has been a true trailblazer of public education, the chair of our Council Finance Committee, Councilmember Julissa Ferreras Copeland, who was very instrumental in the $2.4 million allocated for restorative justice in this budget. I want to thank all of my public safety staff at the Central Division. Matt Goldwald, Laura Popa, Rachel Cordero, Beth Gola, Rob Calandra, Deepa Ambakar, Lori Wen, Regina Pareda Ryan, Ellen Ang, Faiza Ali, Theo Moore, Asia Schomburg. I have a big team. And this team together recognizes the fact that we had so much inequity in our schools, and we are trying to right a wrong and create a climate of learning, safety, and understanding, and really move away from the pipeline to prison that many talk about. I want to thank all of the advocates, especially the youth. The youth played a major role in this journey. Our young people had a voice. They recognized they could be a part of the solution and not the problem. So I want to thank Advocates for Children, the Association of Legal Aid Attorneys, Brooklyn Defenders, DRUM, Dignity in Schools Campaign, Center for Community Alternatives, the Children's Defense Fund, Legal Aid Society, Make the Road New York, NAACP. I want to thank the Civil Liberties Union for being an incredible advocate. I want to thank the New York State Permanent Judicial Commission on Justice for Children, Teachers Unite, Urban Youth Collaborative, and I also want to thank Local 237 of the Teamsters, Chancellor Carmen Farina, the Department of Ed, and the NYPD School Safety. This long list, ladies and gentlemen, of stakeholders, advocates, and partners recognize a lot of the inequity. And as a Bronx representative, I especially want to recognize New Settlement Parent Action Committee, because years ago when I was in the assembly, they came to me about School District 9, and we started from there. We moved to a Bronx campaign focusing on justice, and it took off. And so now citywide, we're looking at all of our schools, and I'm truly thankful. This is my very first piece of legislation that will be signed into law. And so that's why I have so many people today, because I stand here as a part of an incredibly hardworking team. My district staff who is here, thank you to Joshua and Wendy and Dana and Caitlin. Thank you for your support, and I'm grateful that this will become law. Thank you once again, Mr. Mayor, for your leadership.
Excellent. Congratulations, council member. Success has many fathers and mothers, as you just illustrated, and sisters and brothers, but you led the way, and we thank you. And now your partner in this great endeavor, Councilmember Corey Johnson.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I think Chair Gibson recognized rightfully everyone who was part of this immense effort. The one thing I want to say is, and the mayor knows this because he was in the council for 8 years, but in 2011, when the original version of this bill passed, It was not the best bill at that time. It was a good bill, but it wasn't the best bill. And the bill was whittled down for all sorts of reasons. And when I came into office, I met with Donna Lieberman at the New York Civil Liberties Union and her team, and they made some recommendations on how the bill could be approved. And I took that back to our amazing public safety chair, who immediately got it and said, let's do something with this. And Vanessa Gibson has worked so hard on this bill for so many months. It was not an easy process. Think of all the people she named that were involved, and everyone had strong opinions, and not everyone was on the same page. And so her ability to navigate that, to create consensus, and to get us to this point today, I think is fantastic. I just want to end with this. The way to have safe schools is not to be putting handcuffs on 6-year-olds or 12-year-olds or calling EMS or NYPD to lock kids up who have behavioral issues. There are other ways. And this mayor and this chancellor have looked at the disciplinary code and tried to make it less punitive and more based on getting young people the support they need. This bill today, I think, fits perfectly with the work that Mayor de Blasio and Chancellor Farina have done for so long. I want to thank my legislative director, Louis Chilton-Brown, who worked closely with Dana Wax and Councilmember Gibson's office. Thank you, Mr. Mayor, for your support, and congratulations, Chair Gibson.
Thank you very, very much. And we are good to sign the bill